Can someone confirm if my screen is visible and if my voice is audible? Able to see my okay then. Okay, so today we are going to start entering into the Java language. The actual Java language is going to be interesting. Stay focused. So class 20 in today's state. Okay, first Java program. Okay, so we will understand how we are going to develop the first Java program, right? And we will understand the compilation in detail. So far we have understood about the compilation just like that, and we are going to understand about the execution, and I will help you with installing Java software, right? And this is very important. Okay, this thing, okay, the control flow of first Java program with respect to the operating system, right? So wherever you work, whatever the company is, they always expect you to understand the control flow. So they don't expect you to write a big Java code. So that is also there, but they will always expect you to how you are understanding the control flow firstly, and the secondly how you are performing the debugging, how you are able to find the bug. So always remember, this control flow is very important, right? Now we will understand how to write the first Java program and what are the things that we have that one has to focus on while writing the first Java program. We will understand that. Before even understand this, I want you to introduce a small analogy, right? So during the school days, so in your school days especially, there are always an instance of writing an essay, right? So when your English lecturer asks you to write an essay, so what are the things that you usually take care when you're writing an English essay especially? So when you're writing an English essay especially, what are the basic things that you will focus on? Okay, so you will divide that essay basically into three parts. Okay, one is introduction part, if you remember, right? And second one is what, the body of the essay. The actual content is going to be placed here, body of essay. The last one is what, the conclusion part. Okay, this is how you go writing about an essay, English essay. Apart from this, we will also focus on what, we will also focus on the sentence formation. Yes or no? You will focus on sentence formation. Secondly, you will focus on vocabulary, and you will focus on what, spell checks. You will focus on spell checks, right? And apart from this, you will also focus if the sentences are properly organized or not. Sentences are properly organized or not, right? And also you will take care about the tenses, right? Present tense, past tense, and you also take care about the active voice, passive voice. Everything will be considered to get a good essay, right? So these are the rules and regulations to write an essay. And this is not just about writing an essay. It is all about how you are communicating your thoughts, how you are communicating your idea, how you are communicating your idea to your teacher. It is like your thoughts should not be misinterpreted. So the thoughts that you want to communicate, it has to exactly the way it has to be communicated to your English teacher, right? That is how you write. Sometimes what happens, you write something, they understand something. That is called what, misconception or misinterpretation. Mostly misconception will happen or misinformation will happen. The ideologies will not get transferred just like that. You mean to say something, it could be understood in some other thing, right? So here we are talking about what, interpretation. The interpretation should always be what, 100%. Interpretation means how we are communicating. Communication you are talking about, interpretation. Your thoughts should be exactly understood by your teacher. Interpretation, right? If you want to apply this, same thing goes for the Java language also. Same kind of thing would go for Java language also, right? So let us keep this analogy aside. Let me write the first Java program. Okay? To understand each and every keyword, understanding the first Java program is very important. I'm using many varies. Okay, nothing to worry. So public class. Okay, so I'm taking the first name of the first class as first Java. Okay? And also, right, So always remember, when you're writing the first Java program, there should be a class block and there should be a method block. So in this case, I'm talking about the main method, because the execution always starts from main method. You cannot change this. This is how Java people has defined the main method. You should follow that rule. Why main method? Because main method is a method from where the execution starts. Control will always get started from the main method. How the main method is supposed to be. This is how the main method is supposed to be. Public static void main followed by string. You call this as what? You call this as an array. Okay, we are going to discuss each and everything in detail. Pay some close attention here. Right? This is the method block and this is the class block. Let me write this args in blue. I will tell you why I am writing this in blue. Okay, and also I am taking a simple instruction. Simple instruction I want to take. System dot out dot println hello Java. Let me write it in blue color. Hello Java. Okay, this is my first Java program. We have to understand each and every keyword that is being shown up here. Each and every keyword we have to understand in detail. Okay, let me give some spaces here for the better visibility. Okay. So this is our first Java code. Okay, now if you want to understand each and every keyword, when I say keyword, so this is the keyword, this class is also keyword, this public is also keyword. Each and every keyword is going to do a set of functionalities, right? We'll understand that. So what is this public? So you call this as public, you call this public as what? It is called as access modifier. For now, just try to, I'm just keeping it like, okay, this public is nothing but what? Access modifier. Access modifier. Okay. And this public is also called as what? Access modifier. So each and every word here is also called as a keyword. You call this as keywords in Java, right? And also each and every keyword has a specific name. It has a specific categorization. Okay, public means it is one of the access modifier, right? And here class. Okay. This class is representing again a keyword. There is no special name for the class. You can say keyword, right? And again you are able to see a static. Okay, this is in Java programmatically. The static keyword is also called as what? Non-access modifier. Non-access modifier. First you understand get acquainted with these terminologies. Okay, in future, whenever I ask you what is this, you should be in a position to say, sir, this is an access modifier, this is a non-access modifier. Okay, this class is a keyword. You should be in that position to identify what kind of what these words are representing actually from the Java perspective, right? And this void, void is called as what? The return type. Return type. And the main is called as what? I can say the main as a method name, but this method is given by the Java people. So I should mention it as like predefined method name. Predefined method name. So it has been given by Java people. So you are not supposed to change these names. Okay? And you have something like string, an opening bracket and a closing bracket, right? So you call this as what? The predefined class. Predefined class. Predefined means it is defined by Java people. Okay? And you have first data. Okay, the first Java is called as what? User defined class name. Let me take it. Okay, user defined class name. Right? And you have args. Okay, you call it as what? User defined variable name. So these are defined by the users. You can give any name. You can give any meaningful name. It is not like you have to give only args. It is not like that. You can give any meaningful name. You can give your name, you can give my name, any name you can give. That should be meaningful. Okay, I can say that user defined variable name. User defined variable name, right? And you have system here. So this system is called as what? The system is called as predefined class name. Predefined class name. Okay, and you have this out. Okay, what is this out? Predefined variable name. Predefined variable name. Not asking you to by heart all this. I'm just giving you the actual information, right? How you can call this in Java program. That information I am giving you, and also I will give you explanation also. Predefined variable name. This println is called as what? Predefined method name. Defined method name. Right? And this allow Java is called as what? Allow Java is called as a kind of I can say that simple text data. Hello world is called a simple text. Let us connect each and everything. Okay, so this public is called as access modifier. Okay, this is an access modifier, right? And this public is also called as what? Access modifier. Okay, this class is called as keyword. Okay, the static is called as non-access modifier. Void is called as return type, right? And this string is called as predefined class name. Okay, and this main is called as predefined method name. Okay, and you have this what out is called as predefined variable name. This is predefined class name and predefined method name, and you call this as what? You call this as the test data, simple text data. It can be anything, simple text data. Okay, and you also call this as what? You call this as the user defined class name. It is already given here, user defined class name, right? And this is called as what? This arg is called user defined variable name. Okay, the things that I have written in blue, it is up to you. You can give whatever you want, right? But things that I have given in red, it should be as it is. Like the way I have given, you should also use the same thing. It cannot be changed. It is just like a fixed kind of thing, right? Now we will understand each and everything in detail. User defined variable name, right? Now if I give this program to someone, okay, let us say that if I am giving this program to Sudhir, if I am giving this program to Sudhir, Sudhir can read this because this program is completely readable, because it is close to understanding. Yes or no? This program is very close to understanding. It is completely readable, right? Anyone can read this because it is in English. Okay, Sudhir reads, sir, it is public class first Java, and there is a opening brace and public static void main. It is completely readable, but is it understandable? Sudhir can read this, but he cannot interpret this. He cannot interpret this unless and until he knows Java. If he's not knowing Java, that he need to understand each and everything. Okay. So this is a kind of set of rules and regulations of you want to write a Java program so that your machine will understand. Your machine will understand. Let us say that you are using any operating system. It could be Windows, or it could be what we call it as Mac machine, or it could be Linux machine, any operating system. If you pass this code to your operating system, after installing the Java software, your machine will try to debug each and every line. It will understand each and everything. Based upon this instructions, it is going to generate the output. That is called interpretation. There is a lot of difference between understanding and interpreting. Sudhir reads it, but he cannot interpret it. But machine interprets it. But you should also in a position to understand how to interpret this. That's why you are learning Java programming language. Right? I have given you this essay analogy, right? Essay analogy, what? The essay should be in an organized way. Vocabulary needs to be, you need to take care of vocabulary. There should not be any spell checks. I mean, you should take care of spell checks, and also sentence formation should be taken care. Everything has to be taken care, and it has to be divided into many paragraphs, punctuations like that. Like that, there is a pressure to write a Java program. Right? If someone is asking you what is a Java language, you simply can say, what is Java? What is Java? Java is a high-level programming language. Why it is called high-level programming language? Because it is easily readable by humans. Humans can read it. That's why it is called a high-level programming language. First point. It is making more sense, right? So it is very much close to understanding. Since humans are able to read it, you can understand it. Okay. And what is the purpose of using Java? The language is used to communicate with the computer. Okay? You are creating a communication. How you want to talk to the computer? Can you talk to the computer like, hey computer, my name is Balaji, I am from Chennai, I am doing so and so things. Computer will not understand, right? Computer will understand a language. So Java is one of the programming language. It is used to communicate with the computer. Okay, what kind of communication you're going to do? We as a programmers, we can pass instructions in the form of data. You pass instructions in the form of data with the help of Java. Any programming language, since we are learning Java, taken Java, right? And this information are interpreted by the machine to give the relevant output as what? To give the relevant output as information. You pass data and you get the information. This is called Java. If anyone is asking what is Java, this explanation is more than enough. This explanation is more than enough. Are able to follow, right? What is Java? Are you connected? Are we all connected? Yes, no? Can I get yes from everyone? Are we all connected? Yes, no? It boring? It won't be boring. Trust me. During this compilation execution, you will find a lot of things that you can't even find in textbooks. You cannot find it anywhere, even in YouTube also. Those things I will show you for the compilation, for the execution. Okay, try to bear with me for the theory part. Practical part is going to be very interesting. This theory part is very important because even you expect this kind of questions, this kind of cracky questions, even when you keep experience as 5 years or 6 years. Okay, some people are asking this kind of questions. What can I do? I cannot avoid this, right? Because freshers are there as well as experienced people are there. That's why I'm taking much focus here. Now, as I have said, as I have shown, right? So let us talk about what Java keywords. Let's talk about Java keywords. I'm talking about keyword. Okay, let me tell you something. Even this access modifier is also a keyword. Even this predefined class, not this predefined class name, even this non-access modifier is also called as keyword. Okay, even this return type, the return type is called as what? It is called as a keyword. Okay, I can conclude that all the access modifiers are not keywords. I can conclude that all the keywords are not access modifiers, but all the access modifiers are keywords. Like that, I can also conclude that all the keywords, all the non-access modifiers are keywords, but not all the keywords are non-access modifiers. Okay, you can call them as keyword. Basically, you can call them as keyword. You can call every word as a keyword. And also, if you want to call them specifically, this is how you differentiate. Public access modifier, static non-access modifier. We will understand this in detail. For now, let us understand what is a Java keyword. We have understood what is Java language. Let us understand what is a Java keyword. Java keywords. You see, there are about 51 keywords in Java. Let me show that first. File, import to canvas. Okay, you see, these are the list and these are list of Java keywords that you have. There are about 51 keywords, 51 Java keywords. 51 Java. If you complete all these keywords, Java is completed. There are 51 Java keywords, but if you count here, you observe a kind of what we call it. There is a contradiction with this count. You count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 are there. Okay, what has happened is now we are not using this go to and const keyword anymore. Okay, these keywords are not being used anymore. These two keywords are not being used anymore. Go to and constant. After removing these two keywords, how many we are left with? We are left with 48, right? We are left with 48. Along with this 48, there are 3 other keywords, which is null, true, and false. Okay. So usually you don't call this as keyword. You call this as what? You call this as identifiers, but this cannot be used anywhere. Okay, you as a programmer, you cannot duplicate this. For example, you cannot keep your variable name as Java keyword. Abstract you cannot keep. Java will not allow you. Right? You can keep variable name as anything, but it's not supposed to get conflicted with this keyword. That is what I'm trying to say. You cannot keep the byte as a class name. You cannot keep any one of this keyword as a class name or method name or variable name. Right? So everything is a keyword. Everything here is what is a keyword. If you see public is a keyword, but public is also called as further categorized into access modifier. We are going to understand that. You will understand each and every keyword in detail. By understanding all these keywords, the Java is going to be completed. Very easy, Java is very easy, right? And what are these three? These three are called as, they are also called as keyword. Why? Because you cannot duplicate this. You cannot uh, use this as a predefined class name or method name or variable name. You cannot use this. Okay, you use this as a data, but you don't use this as a data, but you use these three things as a data, but it cannot be duplicated, right? So totally how many are there? 48, 49, 50, 51. There are 51 keywords in Java. We will understand each and everything in detail. Okay, what is Java keywords? When I say Java keywords are reserved words in Java. They are reserved words. Okay, reserved means what? It is already reserved. You as a programmer, you do not have any rights to use it as a variable name or method name or class name. What do you really mean? For example, if you want to declare a variable integer, okay, variable name is what? Salary. Okay, salary equal to 10,000. This is the variable name. You can give any name, any meaningful name, acceptable, or you can give any name like ABC, acceptable but not recommended, acceptable. But you cannot give any one of the keywords names as variable name. For example, interface is there. You cannot give this as the, you cannot use the keyword as a variable name. Interface, not acceptable. Okay, because this is the Java keyword. This is reserved for Java. That's why they called us what? They are called as reserved words. This is specially reserved for Java. Likewise, if you want to name a class, for example, I can name a class like class, what we call it as car class. Acceptable. Car class is acceptable. Car driver class, acceptable. But I cannot use this reserved words, or I cannot use this car null. So this null, true, false, I cannot use this. Car null, not acceptable. Why not acceptable? Because they are part of what? They are part of keywords, right? Even it applies for the method name also, right? That's why they call it as what? They are the reserved words, especially reserved for Java language, that is used to declare variables, methods, or class, right? Now let's look at the second point. Java keywords are the words in Java that serve as a code key. You will understand this. I will give you the justification. That serves as a code key. Okay, these words cannot be used for anything else because they are predefined. I have just mentioned you. You cannot use it anywhere. You cannot use it anywhere because they are defined by Java people. Okay? They cannot be used as a variable name. I have just explained, object name, or any other identifier. Right? So there are totally what? There are totally 51 reserved terms or keywords in Java. Okay, and the last one, true, false, null, they are literals. Actually, they are called as literals, but still we cannot use them as identifiers in program. Like example, let me say, if I can do public class, and class name is let us say the name of the class is car. Okay, so this is what? This is the Java keyword. You are declaring the Java keyword for the class. But this true, false, these are the actual data. For example, you use them as a data. For example, there is a data type called Boolean data type. Data type itself is a Boolean, right? And is correct is the variable name equal to true. Okay, this true is identified as a data. It is identified as a literal or data. Able to follow. And even if this null is also identified as a literal or data. If you're not storing, if you're not passing anything, that will go as a null. For example, null is just like some value is there, but you cannot see it. What do you really mean? For example, from the front end, okay, this is where you want to focus. I'm explaining about null. If there is an application, that application is asking you to enter your name. Okay, enter your name, and you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to enter your name. Okay, after entering your name, you need to click on submit button. Okay, we have written a code in the backend. So you have written a code in the backend. I'm just taking the variable name. Okay, string catch name equal to whatever the name that you are entering here, that will be caught here. For example, if you're entering Balaji here, okay, Balaji gets caught here. As soon as you hit on submit button, right, Balaji will be caught. This data will be caught. This data will be caught by the backend people, right? What you are doing, you're entering something or you're hitting on submit button, so that the data is getting caught by the backend team. Backend Java team, they are getting caught. Okay, without entering any data. For example, if you click on submit button, without entering any data. Just you are hitting submit button without entering any data. If that is the case, okay, this is empty, right? So the value will come as null. Null value will go and will be caught behind the scenes. Okay, so instead of sending an empty value, a null value will be generated and that will be sent to the backend. Null is something that is not there. When something is not there, null value gets generated. That's what I'm talking about. So this is also called as a data. This null is also called as a data. This true is also called as a data. False is also called as a data. Okay, the data that we are talking about is also called as literals. They call in Java. They call it as what? Literals. Literals. Okay, what they are saying, you cannot use these three reserved literals for the identifiers. Able to follow? Yes, no. Are we on the? No, video is recording, Prasanna. I started recording, so it is showing in red. Are you able to follow? So far good, everyone? Now we have understood there are, please remember, even if you are waking up and if I ask you what is, how many keywords are there in Java, you should be in a position to say, sir, there are 51 keywords in Java. 51 reserved words, because they are reserved for Java programming language. Can I use these reserved words anywhere as an identifier? No, I cannot use this. Why I cannot use this? Java will not accept. Right? And this true, false, null, they are called as literals because this can be used as a data, but still you cannot use this as the identifier. The user defined, for the user defined names, you cannot use this. Right? Making sense now? The first thing we will understand, if we go back and see the code, we will understand class. What is a class? I have given you so many examples about class. What is a class? I can say that first conclusion can be, can you find class? Okay, here is the class. Class is a reserved word in Java. One answer. Class is one of the Java keywords. You can say that. Apart from this two, you can say, you can categorize, you can give the definition for the Java class as follows. What is a class in Java? Okay, before understanding this, okay, I have told you several times. You remember? Okay, if you want to write any logic in Java, whatever the logic that you want to write. For example, if you have a data, the data, let me say data is integer salary equal to 10,000. Okay, this is the data. This is the identifier or the variable name. This is the data type. Right? And also you have a functionality. Functionality means what? Any method. A method that is going to do what? That is going to perform a functionality. Let me take the functionality as public static void addition or double function. Let me take that double the number. Okay, double the number. There is a functionality called double the number. It will accept a number as an input. Okay, the things that you are passing here, always remember that they act as an input. Okay, they act as an input, right? And you accept a number, and what you are trying to do, you are doubling that number. System dot out dot println. Okay, and you want to double that number. How do I double the number? You accept the number as a. Okay, what do you do to double the number? A plus a. Simple logic I have taken. Okay, this is called as, you call this as property, you call this as behavior. Remember these keywords. This is not the keywords, this is what we call it as, this is how you define this property. You can call this as property. Data is called as property, or you call it as what? You can also call it as a variable. They are not part of keywords. Okay, this is the how do you define this? You can define this as a property or variable. Okay, you can define this as, in Java you can define this as a method, or you can define this as what? As method or behavior. Okay? Always remember in Java programming language, if you have a property, okay, if you have a property or variable, or if you have a behavior or method, this this variable and behavior, they should be encapsulated in a class. You cannot place this anywhere outside the class. You need to take the class as a container. Okay? If you are taking a class as a container, when you are taking a class as a container, okay, always remember whatever the code that you write, mostly you are going to deal with the property and the behavior, data and the behavior, or data and the functionality, right? This data and functionality should always get contained in a class, or should always get encapsulated inside a class, inside the class boundary. Inside what? Inside the class boundary. Inside the class boundary. Okay, class is going to add the information of properties and behaviors, I can say. If I ask you a question, okay, if I have a class, if I have a class A, right? Outside the class, if I place a property like integer state equal to, not state, string state equal to AP, Andhra Pradesh. Is it valid or invalid? Can you tell me? Is it valid or invalid? I have a class, but I am placing the property outside the class. You can unmute and talk, valid or invalid. Or you can type if you want. Is this valid or invalid? Is this valid or invalid? This is invalid. Why this is invalid? When you have a data, that data should be part of the class block. You cannot keep the data outside the class. Okay, you should contain this data, or you should encapsulate this data inside the class block. Or if you have a behavior, that behavior should be inside the class block. I can conclude that. I can simply conclude that. My conclusion is very simple. Okay? A class is a boundary, or a class is a blueprint. A class is a boundary, or a class is a blueprint. Inside this class, you are going to keep properties, or you are going to keep what? Behaviors. Okay, classes are used to hold properties and behaviors. As simple as that. Very simple. Classes are used to hold what? Properties and behaviors. Okay. Now you tell me. Now a small quiz. Okay, I have a class B here. Okay, and I have I'm placing behavior. Behavior is what? Behavior is a method or functionality. Behavior. Okay. If I keep the property outside, property means variable or data. Property. Is it valid or invalid, this code? Valid or invalid? Invalid. Definitely invalid. Because the Java classes are very secure. It is going to secure the property and behavior within it. If you have property, it should be in a class. You have behavior, that should be in a class. It cannot be part of outside the class. You cannot do this. That is against Java programming language. It is against Java programming language. This is one of the rules that you need to follow. Sir, I have a data, I have a function, where I should place it? Place it inside a class. If you're placing it outside, if you're placing it 1 year, if you're placing it another year, and if you're writing a class, okay, the machine will not understand. The machine will get confused. The machine will think like, what kind of you are not following the Java programming rules and regulations. You are not following the Java format. According to the Java rules, if you have a property and if you have behaviors, you can have any number of properties. You can have any number of behaviors. Please ensure that those properties and behaviors should be encapsulated inside a class. Okay. So class boundary is going to have as many as properties you want, as many as behaviors you want. I can say that class is a blueprint from which objects are created. We have discussed this, I think, in the 8th class or the 9th class. Something we have discussed about Java classes in detail. Go back and see the theory. Okay, what is a class in Java? A class is one of the keywords, I can say, or a class is one of the reserved words, because it is part of the 51 reserved words. If you go and see, it's part of the 51 reserved words. Okay, class is one of the keywords or one of the reserved words in Java. First conclusion, right? What is the second conclusion? It is used to create the blueprint of a requirement. Blueprint of a requirement. It is just like we have discussed these things. If you don't ask me once again, I have explained you. If you are constructing an house, engineer is going to give the plan. Engineer is going to do what? It is going to give the plan in the form of paper. right? And this plan will get converted to the reality in the form of house. Okay, this analogy is called as what? This is called as class. Class is nothing but the planning. Okay, and the house that is getting discovered each and every single day is called as what? The object. Okay, from one class, from one plan, you can build many number of houses. Likewise, from one class, you can create many number of objects. Okay, this plan is going to contain a lot of information about the estimation, construction estimation, the what we call it as the timing estimation, the planning estimation, how many workers are going to be needs to be there, what are the things that what are the raw material that is required. Likewise, the class is going to contain a lot of information. What are they? The information will be in the form of property and behavior. Making sense, right? So I can say that see, blueprint of a requirement from which objects are created. A class is also called as container, which could have variables. Properties means variables and behaviors means method. For example, a simple house class, right? So we have understood how you can define a class. Okay, now you tell me what kind of class is this? When I say class B, how you can name this class? Yesterday we have discussed this. A class without access modifier, what we call it? What kind of class we call access? Anyone remember? Default class. Default class. Good. Okay. So this is called default class, and when you place an access modifier, public, it is called as public class. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, let me remove this nonsense. Not required. Right. Okay, now let us discuss about what? Let us discuss about this access modifier. Access modifier. Right. Okay. Public access modifier. Before understanding public access modifier, we need to understand what is public word in Java. What is a public word in Java? Right? The public word is one of the access modifier that is used to give the visibility to give the class methods and visibility for the classes, methods, and the variables. Let us understand this. Okay, let me give the justification for this. Let me remove this, not required. Okay, sir. The public is one of the access modifier that is used to give the visibility for class, methods, and variables. What does it really mean? So when you make a class as public class, and also let me take the name of the class as test class. Okay? And also if you have a variable public, so the name of the variable is what? Public integer or public string name equal to Balaji. Okay. So I have a simple class. Inside this class, I have one variable. I can say that I have one data. Okay, I have encapsulated one data inside this class. Okay, let me take another class. Let me take another class. This time the class name of the class is what? Name of the class is something like ABC. ABC. Let us say that this is also public. Okay, and let me take one more class here. Okay, I have taken how many classes? This is one class and this is another class, and I want to take another class here. Public class XYZ. Okay, three classes I have taken. Okay, with respect to this class, with respect to the test class, this test class is completely this test class and the variable. The name of the test class as well as the variable, because both are declared with, the variable is declared with public access modifier. You are using the public keyword, which means this class I mean, this class is completely visible to these two classes. These two classes are able to recognize these classes. What does it really mean? I mean, you have when it says public, okay, this class has all rights to access this class, and this class also all rights to access this class. Why they have all rights? Because the class, the visibility of the class is public. Public means it is saying I am a test class. I am having the public access modifier. Okay, you can access me. You can use my services. I am visible to everyone. Public means what are the services that is being provided by this class is open for other classes also. The moment you keep public. Likewise, this variable is also public. It says I am the variable name. The name of the variable name is name itself. I am also public. If you want, you can use my data. If you want, you can also use my data. So these both class are able to see this particular class. So this class is able to see, and this class is also able to see. Visibility is there. Okay. The moment I remove this, the moment I remove this public, okay, now no visibility. The visibility is gone. These two classes are blind to see these classes. Let me repeat. The moment I remove this public, when I remove this public, the class becomes default. Okay, it is saying, it is keeping some restrictions. Hey, I am a default class. I will hide myself from the other classes. I want to be secure. I am going to hide somewhere. You cannot see me, right? The moment it is happened, the moment you are not placing any access modifier, this class becomes default, right? Means there is no access. This class cannot see this. It's not visible. Literally, I can say that this class is not visible to this class as well as this class, because this class has no access modifier, or the access modifier is not public. So it is always talking about the visibility. Okay, we will understand this visibility in detail. For now, public means what? Visible to everyone. If you're not placing public, not visible to anyone. Able to follow? Making sense? Okay, this is what this line, this is the justification for this line, to give the visibility for the classes, even for the methods. You can declare the methods with public, private, default, and what we call it as protected. Each and every access modifier has the own visibility. Each and everything we are going to discuss in detail. So this is the little briefing about visibility for access modifier. If you ask me how many types of access modifiers are there, let me import that. Okay. There are only 4 access modifiers. What are they? Okay. One is private. Private means very secure, very secure. You cannot even touch this. Forget about visibility. You don't even know its behavior or its property. So there is another modifier called default or no modifier. No modifier. When you are not using any modifier, that will be treated as default. That applies for variable name also. When I declare a variable name like integer salary equal to 10,000 or 1 lakh, okay, if you ask me about what kind of variable is this is the default variable. Why this is the default variable? You are not using any access modifier. Okay, the moment you use public access modifier, this variable becomes the public variable. The moment you use private access modifier, this variable will become private variable. The moment you use protected, okay, I'm just listing out all this. Protected is also there, right? Protected, this variable is called as what? Protected. Each and every access modifier is giving some visibility that we will understand in detail. For now, access modifiers are going to increase or decrease the visibility. Access modifier are going to do what? It is going to increase the visibility, okay, increase the visibility or decrease the visibility. Able to understand, right? There are only 4 access modifier: private, default or no modifier. So when you say when you don't use modifier, you call it as default, but you don't use the default keyword, right? And you have protected and you have public. So what are the non-access modifier? These are the list of non-access modifier. We are going to see everything in detail. Okay, now go back to the theory and see access modifier. The public is one of the access modifier that is used to give the visibility for the classes, methods, and the variables. Okay, there are 4 access. The access modifiers are categorized into 4 types: public, private, default, and protected. Don't worry about these things. You will understand as the class goes on. Okay. All the access modifiers are Java keywords. Remember this. All the access modifiers are Java keywords or reserved words, I can say. are reserved words. But not all the Java keywords, are accessible. I hope this definition is making sense. Right, now we have understood the what does the public means. What does the public means? Right, now we will understand the non-access modifier. A non-access modifier is what? The static keyword that we are using it here. The static keyword. So what is the functionality of static keyword that we will understand? Okay, the static keyword is always talking about the memory allocation. So when I say static, for now try to understand that when the moment you use static keyword, right, you do not have to create an object to access this. What does it really mean? In Java, if you want to access any method, or if you want to access any variable, for example, if I have a class A, inside this class I have a variable integer a equal to 100, right? If I want to access this from outside the class, okay, so we are accessing or let us say that within the same class I'm going to have, let me remove this. Let us say that within the same class I'm going to have public static void in string array. Right, I have a class, and inside this class I have a main method. Right, what I want to do, I want to access this variable. I can access this directly, or else I can also access by creating an object a obj equal to new a. Okay. The moment I create this object, what happens? A is nothing but the name of the class. Object creation is nothing but the memory allocation. One memory gets allocated, right? This is going to get the memory will have a reference, right? The reference is going to be obj, because you are declaring obj here. Because of this new keyword, a new memory gets allocated, right? And this memory is going to do what? The memory is going to always ensure that all the variables are placed inside this memory. So there is only one variable here. What is that variable? A equal to 100. A equal to 100. Okay. To access this variable, what you are doing it here? You are creating an object. After the object creation, right, you are doing what? System dot out dot println, right? And you are using this reference variable. You are going to use this reference variable obj, right? Inside the system dot out dot println, okay, inside the system dot out dot println, you will use what? You will get the reference variable name obj dot. When you use dot, okay, the control goes inside and it will search for the a. Okay, the moment you do this obj dot a, obj is the reference of the object. Dot a means the control goes inside and it will identify the a variable, right? And you have access to the data. This is how the memory will be created. Memory will be created only when you create an object. Okay? But for the static keyword, the memory gets created automatically without creating an object. I mean, you can for now just try to remember, you can access to this keyword, static method or static variable. You have direct access to the static method or direct static variable without having to create this object. Without that, you can directly access. So the moment you say static, okay, if you declare this variable name as static integer a 100, okay, I'm using the static keyword here. Okay, I have a privilege to access this variable directly without creating an object, without having to do this. I can just directly say system dot out dot println, right? I can directly use this variable name here. I do not want to do this nonsense. A obj equal to new. Object creation is not required. Directly I have access. This object creation is not required. So that privileges we have, that advantages we have with the static keyword. Static means memory allocation. This memory gets allocated without creating an object. For now, just keep this in mind. Okay, for now, our understanding should be limited till here, because static is a very big topic that we are going to understand in detail. For now, keep this as a little understanding. Right? Static means memory gets allocated without creating an object. You do not have to create an object to access the variable name or to access the methods. For now, right? So that is what I have given here. Okay, what is the static in the first Java program? Okay. What is an explanation? The static is one of the non-access modifiers in Java. It is used to deal with the memory allocations. I can say that you can access to static variables and static methods without creating an object. There are many, like static keyword. Static keyword is one of the non-access modifiers. Like this, there are many non-access modifiers. What are they? You have final, you have abstract, you have something like synchronized, transient is there, volatile is there, strict. Everything we will be discussing in detail. It making sense? Let me remove this. Okay. Now next we will understand what is this void. Okay. What is this void? This void is called as what? Void is one of the return types. Okay, when I talk about the return types, there are many return types in Java. Return types are categorized into two: primitive data return types and non-primitive data return types. Let me show that. See this diagram. It's not understandable. Okay, so the return type. When I talk about Java return types, okay, there are two types. Okay, one is primitive type, second one is non-primitive type. Primitive type, second one is what? Non-primitive type. Non-primitive. So primitive data types are what? You have only eight primitive data types are there. Byte you have, you have short, you have int, you have long, you have float, you have double, you have character, you have boolean. Totally there are eight. Right? Eight primitive data types. So this every primitive data type is going to hold a certain kind of data. So when you say byte, it is going to hold a smaller number. Short means little larger number. Int means okay, a reasonable number. Reasonable number. Long means a very long number. Float means the fractional number, small fractional number, large fractional number with decimal precision up to 12 values. Char means a character, a simple character, a simple letter. Boolean means true or false. Okay, we will understand everything. So these are the primitive data type that is going to hold a kind of data according to the memory. Okay, and you have non-primitive data types. These are what? These are the class types, or like you can take it as string as an example. For now, take it as string as an example. It is going to hold the sequence of characters, right? So what Java says, this void is one of the return type. If you're not using any of this primitive or non-primitive data type, you should place something there. Okay, that something should always be void. If you don't like to if you don't like to use any of this primitive or non-primitive type, okay, you should not keep this as empty. It should always be void. I will tell you why it is void. This part, okay, this space holder, okay, this void is called as return type, and you can use byte as a return type, short, int, long, float, and the remaining things as a return type. Okay, the moment we discuss about Java methods, we discuss about variables in detail, we discuss about the data types in detail, then you will understand the actual functionality of this primitive type. For now, these are the primitive types, these are the non-primitive types, okay, which can be used as a return type in this place. So instead of void, you can use any one of this. But what are the rules and regulations? What are the advantages of using this? Okay, what kind of how the method is going to behave the moment you remove void and you keep this primitive types? That we will understand in detail, right? Every day we will learn step by step. Okay, you cannot learn everything in one day, right? As this time comes, I will help you with understanding. For now, try to understand this place is called reserved for what? Return type, right? So that is what I have explained here. What is the void keyword in Java? What is a void keyword in Java? Void is one of the return types. Return types can be primitive or non-primitive type. Okay, when you are not declaring the primitive types as primitive types or non-primitive types as return type. When you're not declaring any one of these primitives as not primitives or non-primitives as return types, then you can go for what? Then you are supposed to use void means void. That should not be empty. Something you have to return type. Something you have to use. Okay, that something is void. If you're not happy to use this, you should use void is also one of the keywords, right? And what else we have? What is this main? Okay, if you get locked out of this meeting room now, please rejoin. Okay, only 5 more minutes class will be there. Please bear with me. We'll complete this. Okay, main. What is this main? What is main? The first Java program. What is the main in the first Java program? Okay. It is the name of the main method. First of all, it is the name of the main method. Okay, which is the predefined one. This is defined by the Java people. Okay, you cannot use this name anywhere. There will be a conflict. Java has defined a method and they have named that method as main method. So you cannot use this main as main in anywhere in the Java program. Predefined. It is predefined. Okay, it is predefined. Defined identifier. That can't be changed. You cannot change this and can't be used anywhere. Used anywhere in the Java program. Okay, always remember the syntax of the main method should always be like public static void main string array. This is how the syntax of the main method, because the execution will always starts from the main method. Okay, thank you for rejoining. I think my screen is visible now. My voice is audible, right? Can someone quickly confirm my screen and my voice is audible? Screen is visible, everyone? Okay then. See, what I was saying, I was talking about the main method. So this is how the syntax of the main method should always be. Public static void main string array also. So let me tell you something. In Java, when you're writing the Java program, you may be having when you're writing Java program, you may be having many number of classes. What I mean to say, you may be having something like class A in one notepad, class B, class C, class D, Okay? And inside the class C, let's say that you have the main method. Okay, there are so many classes. Let us assume that there are 100 classes, but for simplicity, I am taking only 5 classes, still class C. So the moment you start compilation and the moment you start the execution, right? Whatever the code that you may be writing in class A, class B, class C, class D, no matter. Okay? The control will always try to find the main method. Okay? And the prototype of the main method or signature of the main method should always be like this. You cannot change this. Because this main thread is wired inside, okay, in such a way that it should recognize the main method. That recognition will happen only if you follow the exact signature given by the Java people. You cannot change this, you cannot modify this. But you can do one thing. What you can do, it should not be like this. There are two changes that you can do. There are two changes. The first change is you can interchange the static and public. Okay, the static and public can be interchanged. The placeholders can be varied. Okay, it is not like public static, it can be static public, still valid. And also this args is there, right? This can also be changed. You can give any name. You can give Java, you can give any meaningful, you can give Balaji also, it should be meaningful. Or you can give what we call it as ID, or you can give software, since we are learning Java software, any name. You can change this, you can interchange this to public static can be static public. This is as valid as this. Okay, this is also valid, and this is also valid. Okay, these two can be interchanged. I am saying main method. So this is one of the interview question. Okay, they have asked one of the interviewer, one of the person who is taking the interview, whether is this the valid core or not. Okay, it's valid because you are just interchanging the placeholders of public and static to static and public. You're just interchanging this. This is as valid as this one. Even the main thread will recognize, right? And also always remember everything it should be in lowercase, because Java is case sensitive. You cannot do like this. You cannot do public uppercase. You cannot do that. Every keyword has to be in lowercase. If I show you the keyword, are you finding any keyword? Are you finding where is it? Are you finding any keyword in uppercase letter? Every keyword is in lowercase letter. It is starting with lowercase. You cannot change this. You cannot change it up because Java is case sensitive programming language. And likewise, this public, static, void, and everything has to be lowercase. Now you may ask me, sir, this string is in uppercase. This string is not part of Java keyword. This is Java, one of the predefined Java class. You don't find this string here. You don't find the string keyword here. Right? I'm talking about the keywords. All the keywords has to be in lowercase. So what about this? What about this main? You should use the main method like in lowercase only, because Java people as written the main method should be like MAIN, not MAIN, not capital MAIN. Okay, this has to be in lowercase, this has to be in lowercase, 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 and the string has to start with uppercase, because this is not the keyword, this is the class. Every class name, we have discussed this, every class name will follow the Pascal case naming convention. Pascal case means if you have a class name like what we call it as car driver, okay, car, first letter of the car should be in the uppercase, and the subsequent letter, the first letter of the subsequent word should be in the uppercase, car driver. This is the naming convention. By looking at this, you can say, okay, this is the class because it is starting with this, and you can write any name here. This can be changed to anything. You can write anything here, no issues. So this is a prototype of the main method. Okay, so all the instructions in the main method, all the instructions that the Java program is going to identify, start the execution from the main method itself. This cannot be changed forever. Right? And also we need to discuss about this what is this text data and what is this predefined variable name. After discussion, we'll understand, tomorrow we'll understand the compilation, this compilation part. Everything in detail I will explain about the compilation as per the real-time example, and execution as per the real-time example. After discussing this too, I will help you to install the Java software. Then you can start practicing the Java programs, and also I will help you to the control flow of first Java program, how it is going to get communicated with the hardware, what are the things that is happening behind the scenes. So many things that you are going to see which you would have never come across, or you will never come across even in the textbooks. right? Do you have any questions?